This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat and Shaun.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, guys.
We're on holidays at the moment.
Oh, I'm loving it.
And
Sick.
loving it.
We've gotten a collection of some of the finest work that we've done throughout the year. Oh, guys.
And then we padded it out with some rubbish.
Don't undersell it, no.
Yeah.
Don't undersell it.
And this, of course, being a live broadcast. Today's best bits are all about...
From the Vault 2017.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Oh, my God. Right to the point you are.
Enjoy.
This is Nathan, Nat and Shaun.
It's time for this, everybody. Ferdinand is a movie. It's going to be out on December 14th. It is going to be the holiday movie for the kids to go and see. It's a delightful story about a bull. It's the new animated movie, and the guy who stars as Ferdinand the Bull is none other than John Cena.
Hello.
John Cena!
Hi, John.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, mate, we're absolutely pumped. Hey, John, I let my kids know that we were catching up with you, having a chat to you at least. After seeing the movie, of course, they were going mental. This is a great moment.
Well, I can see you guys are excited as well, so thank you very much.
My mum's excited. She watches Total Bellas, and she knows all about your life.
Oh, so do I. Tell her thank you for watching.
There you go.
Hey, we checked out Ferdinand. What a gorgeous little film. I was really worried at the start because it was about, matadors and bullfighting and stuff like that.
I found it was a bit dark at the beginning. I'm like,
the message at the end, John, is just lovely, isn't it?
Well, thank you. I think, you certainly have to set the stage to tell a good story. I think the movie does just that.
Hey, John, when I was watching you at WWE, you always seemed to be a good guy, like we do see with Ferdinand as well. Did you play a darker side before that when you first came in, or you've always played the nice dude?
No, I've always kind of played, I guess, the good guy, which hopefully, in the upcoming future, I'd love to get an opportunity to maybe explore that side.
Turn evil. Go evil.
Well,
yeah.
I just want to dive into Ferdinand because I think everyone needs to take their kids to see this because it's absolutely beautiful. There's just some really standout moments. I mean, the horses are so funny.
Yes.
The hedgehog friends are brilliant. When the bull goes into a china shop, brilliant.
Yeah.
And Kate McKinnon as Lupe. As Lupe the goat. That is
calming
hilarious.
goat.
He is my absolute favorite character in the whole movie. I think Lupe is an amazing character, and she is an amazing comedian, and she does a fantastic job.
Yeah.
So, John, we've seen you act and been in movies. It's getting more and more these days. You're everywhere. But take us back to doing an animation. It seems from the outside it might be easy because no one can see you doing movements and, doing your makeup and all that stuff. Is it easier or harder?
I think it just comes to wanting, you being comfortable with letting your guard down. You do have to do goofy stuff kind of in the sound booth, surrounded by animators whom you're either just meeting or you only see when you do these sound recordings. So it just is a confidence to let your guard down and kind of have faith in them that they are encouraging you in the right direction to do what they need. And it was easy for me just because I had full faith in the folks from Blue Sky. I mean, Carlos is such a great director. He's brought us Ice Age and he's brought us Rio and now Ferdinand.
Yeah.
That it was a pleasure for me to be able to be directed and mentored by him, and I had no problem. I just went for broke, and they got some pretty interesting footage of me in the sound booth doing my thing.
Were you doing your bit alone? Did you do that in isolation, or did you have some of the other actors doing their bits at the same time?
Well, as you guys explained, that the cast of Ferdinand is tremendous, and all those people to do the movie, you generally have to work on everyone's schedule, so you don't ever. Very rarely do you interact with any of the other voice actors, but it just, once again, tips the cap to the animator because they take all these individual pieces and make such a great movie.
That is amazing when you think about it, isn't it?
Yeah. I am a person, when I watch a movie, John, like say if I see the Incredible Hulk get bigger and then get smaller, his pants also shrink and they can't because they're a cotton drill. So I sort of think about that sort of stuff. And it brings me to this question. How did little Nina know that Ferdinand's name was Ferdinand?
I come from a world in WWE where our job is to suspend
Yeah, okay. So on that, I grew up on a farm, John.
Oftentimes we use what we call creative liberty to
Yeah, because I think there was a bit of liberty taken because there didn't appear to be the necessary equipment that makes a bull, if you know what I mean.
And the goat, Nat.
And the goat. There was no udder for the goat. You can't milk her.
Well, the goat was more of a calming goat rather than a milking.
Okay.
Yeah. Well. The fact that the bull Ferdinand was missing something, was that method?
Not just Ferdinand, all of them.
I think when you are bound by the regulations of you want to make sure you play ball with a family audience.
Nice choice of words, my friend.
I do enjoy as well the chalk that was on the wall that they were measuring the height, and it's like
Yes.
that's a good sturdy chalk because that's used
That stayed there for
outside.
years.
John, were you always a big guy when you were growing up? Because, we see the growth of Ferdinand into this massive bull, and you're a massive unit. I got to see you guys when you came to town to Australia a couple of years ago with my kids, and you got the others covered, that's for sure.
I had a similar growth spurt as Ferdinand. We kind of started both out awkwardly undersized, and then you hit a crazy growth spurt. Mine was at about age 12 through 15, and a very similar journey to Ferdinand as well. I used to kind of get chastised and picked on for who I was and kind of how I behaved, and lo and behold, I've become a little bit larger of a frame, and then the bullying kind of stopped and just went away. So I really share a lot with not only the story but the character of Ferdinand.
Absolutely.
I have to tell you, I really love you and Nikki as a couple. It's like you guys are a real life superhero couple that are getting to get married. That's absolutely. It just is. I just feel like you get home, you're passionate, you just throw each other around. Walls are breaking, and it's just amazing.
Oh, we all have our fantasies.
What's next for you, mate? Because we've seen so many great movies coming out. You're so busy, the WWE.
On the superhero thing, I would think that with all Marvel and DC at the moment, you would be primed to become a superhero in a movie.
Oh, I know that every head executive for both DC and Marvel is going to listen to this broadcast.
Oh, yeah, they're big fans of ours, yeah.
So I'm thankful for that. But I got a few movies coming out in 2018, some more animated stuff, but I'm really focused on Ferdinand because it is a wonderful movie that I'm very proud of. And certainly in the WWE realm, WrestleMania is right around the corner, and I really would love to be a part of that.
Isn't it amazing though
WrestleMania
that you have branched out into this? And,
I know.
And did you ever think when you started at wrestling that this would lead to this other career?
When I started wrestling as a wonderful hobby because I was obsessed with it, I never thought that I would be able to call it my job. So I'm grateful every day for what I have.
John, can I ask you, with all the wrestlers and everything around the world, that people have changed their name or had a different identity. You haven't ever.
Yeah, that really, I don't score well in the creative category because my nickname is just my own name. So
Yeah.
I think I missed the boat there. So I don't know. If I had to do it again, I'd probably come up with something cooler.
No, I like it, mate.
Well, it's amazing to see where you come from, John, and also to see where you're going to go. Like, I mean, you're so talented, and Ferdinand is such a fantastic movie.
It
Everyone's
is
got
going to be the hit of the summer.
Should be really
no doubt
proud of it,
about
mate. Well
yeah,
done.
brilliant
Genuinely
work.
appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much.
Good on you, John.
That's John Cena. Thanks so much for talking to us today, John.
Thank you.
Take care, mate.
The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
It's time to get fancy and royal, everybody. Now, Richard Kerrigan, he lives in Sydney now, but he used to be a butler at Buckingham Palace. We got the opportunity to catch up with him earlier this morning and asked him every single
Everything,
question
ever.
under the sun. Richard, hello.
Hello.
Hello,
Hey, Rich, how are you, brother?
We all start talking fancy when we
Oh,
talk
yes,
to you.
Richard. I love you.
Do you notice that when Australians speak to you, they try to speak properly?
They do try, yeah, they do. There's sometimes a bit of a language barrier, but certain words they understand.
You know why? Because we feel like we're trashy criminals compared to your kind.
Not at all. It's why I've been here for 6 years. I love it. Love this place.
Now, Richard, we're super excited to speak to you, obviously. How did you get the job in the first place, working for the Queen?
Yeah, so I was actually working as a butler. It all started through college. The initial goal was to be a qualified chef. I was kind of always really inspired by Jamie Oliver, when he kind of came to the scene really early.
Yeah, sure.
Loved helping mum out in the kitchen, and but I also was really fascinated by working on the super yachts as well. Kind of had that dream of being a chef and maybe serving at the same time and rubbing shoulders with millionaires and stuff. That was the dream at kind of 14, 15 years old. So I went to catering college, and then we had a contact through college, and it all kind of stemmed from there. The more events we did, the more kind of prestigious events we got asked to go back to as butlers, and then it just rolled on from there.
What did your mum say when you got the job? She would have been stoked.
She was so happy, honestly. Talk about a proud mum. I tried to take a picture of in the because you have to wear these penguin suits when we're there, but unfortunately it's no phones allowed. So I've got no actual footage of me in the uniform, which is very, very frustrating. But yeah, she was obviously, understandably, she was very, very proud mum.
Now, we have a picture of what Buckingham Palace would be like in our minds, and I imagine all the staterooms are pretty impressive. But I'm more interested in the behind-the-scenes bits where you worked. Was it really cramped and crowded? Were there lots of you moving around?
Like upstairs, downstairs, that TV show?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, do you know that kind of terminology, like, the duck underwater, its feet are kind of paddling frantically but on the surface it's super calm. It's pretty much that, like there's so much going on to make it the most amazing service that you can deliver to, you've got heads of state there, diplomats. I think I did one event, my probably most impressive one was the American state visit with George Bush and his wife.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy behind the scenes, but organised chaos in a way. Everyone kind of has their job, they know what to do. But the level of service, we're serving on these big silver salvers. Certain people come in for different tasks. Like one person's job would just be the potatoes, then the gravy, then it's a lot of staff, but it just seems to all flow.
It's a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, it is. It's an amazing experience, and you get to the point where it just becomes the norm. And then you remember it, say 11 in the evening, that you're actually in Buckingham Palace. This is just the dream job.
Yeah. I think it is for most people.
Well, what does it smell like? Does it smell like a musty old lady, that place?
No, do you know what it doesn't? Because there's so many flowers there and they're all real flowers, it just smells like it smells like a florist, honestly. It's
beautiful.
I don't know what they do to the room, but it looks amazing and it smells amazing.
Just heaps of Ambipure. There's an the Ambipure guy works with the potato guy.
Unless there's some bad perfume from some of the guests.
Okay. Is there like a room just with some IKEA furniture in it somewhere?
A couple of bean bags.
Do you know what? It may be an IKEA table or a piece of tablecloth. I never actually got to I was walking on the table once. We had to, because they have these big vases, huge vases, which are probably about 3 or 4 foot tall. And these have obviously all the amazing flowers on top. And I was walking on top of the table to adjust some of the flowers. And you have to put special kind of overshoes over your feet so you don't mark the table.
Yeah.
And that was quite an experience, walking down the main table in the middle of Buckingham Palace. I kind of remember that.
Okay, and what about because I would guess it would be like a hotel where the pictures are secured to the wall and the cushions have a chain on them, stuff like that.
Yeah, do you know what? I think a few people, I'm sure because they have their names, placemats and stuff. I'm sure people would want, because they're all, they've done an amazing kind of calligraphy. They're all, I'm sure a lot of the guests would want to actually take them back. Some of them did go missing in the menus and that sort of thing, but I couldn't tell you.
You would souvenir that stuff.
Definitely.
I should flog it.
Yes.
All golden stuff. When you were opening doors from some of these statesmen, and George W. Bush is one, and Camilla and Charles, when at weddings and stuff, is there a particular thing you have to do?
No, just they give you an extra overcoat because some of these events are in the winter. But it's just pretty much hand behind the back, opening the door, saying good evening, white gloves on, and then the guests are up the main staircase, which kind of is similar to that Titanic, the kind of from both sides, and then it's into the various different halls around the main ballroom, which we would serve different drinks in, and then it's straight up. But it's really kind of, the job of us is to not be starstruck and kind of, oh my God, who's
Are you allowed to look them in the eye?
Yeah, I mean, it's just about serving them, as you would, I say in a restaurant, but, you've still got that courtesy to kind of get the job done, but it's just not, you wouldn't obviously speak to them and say, how's your day? You'd just be giving them the best service possible as most would expect.
So, because people live there, of course, and that's what we forget. Like it feels like a showroom. So, say the Queen's just walking around in a nightie, or she wants like she's going to the toilet.
Or she wants a cup of cocoa.
Is there like you guys obviously don't get into that? Is there a secured like living area where they just like live?
Yeah, so they would have their own team for that. So I mainly went up there for a lot of the banquets, but I used to work. I have been in places where we're full time kind of. We're there 24/7, and one of my longest shifts I think was 36 hours, and that was when I kind of knocked on the head. I was just like, this is kind of getting up there. But they would have their own separate team for that, and especially on the night of these big banquets, the Queen would have her own she has her own personal butler anyway. And then the guests of honour at the top of the table.
Is he there 24 hours? Because what if at night she wants something to eat? Because she wouldn't go to the kitchen. So
I'd imagine there'd be a lot of the time in these big houses they have their own separate bits, because I think if they want to make it as comfortable as they can, so you might have like a separate kitchen which is near to your
To the living quarters,
yeah, you could kind of...
It's a little kitchenette in the corner, Nathan. You know,
It's like a nursing home room.
Yeah, that's maybe where the IKEA furniture is.
Hey, Rich, when you're working at some of these events, did anyone, like, you're a good-looking rooster, did any of the ladies or the men have a dip at you at any stage? Maybe give you the eye or something? Maybe grab
maybe the Queen put the green light outside of a bedroom window and said, "Get that Richard in here, please. Clean my corgis."
Sure she could have who she wants, but no, it's nothing went on like that. I always do get the whenever I go and meet people and they heard I was a butler, they kind of expect like Jeeves or Mr. Burns or someone like that. They just expect someone to be about 55 years old.
Yeah, they do.
But it's obviously it's been an amazing experience to start off my career, and it's really kind of helped me. I just think with life skills and stuff, you just appreciate everyone's the same, but you're also giving that extra level of service. It's definitely helped me moving forward and get me to where I am now.
So now that you're no longer a butler, do you still set your table for dinner every night
and measure the
space between the cutlery and that kind of thing?
No, unfortunately not. Most of the time it's spent watching a little bit of Home and Away and eating dinner on the couch. But
so fitness and also your lifestyle nutrition, down here in Australia, nutrition.
Yeah, so I moved over about 6 years ago. I initially came out for a holiday and just thought this place is unbelievable. I was living in Scotland at the time, and you can imagine the change of scenery from a harsh Scottish winter to Australian summer. And I'm now working on a health and fitness program. It's called the Beach Life.
Yep.
And I really wanted to just showcase that I think there's a lot of programs out there that are very quick fixes, and I want to just show people that delicious food is the most important thing that you need to be creating into your lifestyle, and it's not difficult to do that. And if you're more inclined to enjoy the food that you're eating, then you're actually going to benefit from it and lead a longer, healthier, happier life. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to push forward at the moment.
And are you using your experiences from Buckingham Palace? So say you guys go for a 100-metre run on a table.
There's certain things, you maybe moving a few chairs around or doing lighting the candles, leaning over, a bit of core work. Yeah, it all helps.
It's cross-training.
The 36-hour workout's a killer, though.
You know what? That's an endurance. I've just done an Ironman up in there.
Everyone has to carry a corgi for a marathon.
Yeah, honestly, that was an absolute night. It was when I fell asleep. I was rolling up some carpets, and I fell asleep on the carpets, and I was just like, okay, enough's enough. 36 hours.
Enough's enough. I'm going to Australia.
Oh, okay,
exactly. Let me find some sun.
A quick question about the corgis. If the corgis are running up, do you have to show the corgis a lot of respect? Are you told anything about the corgis?
You know what? I saw one of them once, but apart from that, they don't run around. I don't know how many she's got now, but I did hear on the radio that when Meghan and Harry, were around the corgis. Apparently, they love Meghan.
Yes.
They love Meghan, yeah.
Oh, you know that she put chum in the bottom of her shirt. She manipulated this situation.
She knows that trick. But no, they're not. You'd expect them to be running around all over the place, but they're I think they're kept away somewhere.
You know what it is? I hear there's so many of them now. They're just in the walls. They're just everywhere like rats.
Where can people find out more information about your Beach Life program?
I'm working on an awesome website at the moment and have really delicious seasonal food produce on there, and it's going to be launching in the next week and a half. So That's called RK The Beach Life, and also RK The Beach Life on Instagram as well. So we do a lot of healthy recipes, just trying to help as many people out as I can on there.
Sounds delicious, buddy.
Richard. Good luck with it all.
Great talking to you, mate.
Thanks so much for speaking, guys.
No worries. See you, buddy.
Appreciate it. Take care.
Nathan, Nat, and Shaun.
We have a legit superstar in our midst, everybody.
Yes,
He's won BAFTAs.
Yeah.
He's been an actor on EastEnders.
Well, we know a lot of our UK friends would know him as Grant Mitchell.
Yes, but he's Ross Kemp. That's his actual name. These days, he's a documentary maker. He puts his life on the line doing ridiculous things. Welcome, Ross.
Good to be here, guys.
Ross, you are doing your tour of the Extreme Tales. Now, we've seen a fair bit of your documentaries over the journey. Mate, you chuck yourself in some unbelievable war-torn places
And the
scary
crazy thing is you left the safety of being an actor where that's all simulated and you go right to the real stuff. That's insane to a lot of people.
Like a lot of things in life, it happened by mistake. I was in EastEnders for 10 years. I got a 4-year contract to go across to the commercial channel ITV. And in the process of doing that, I was asked to stand in and present a documentary. I think I was 5th choice. I know that because I had 2 other guys that turned it down. Anyway, I went off and did it. I met a guy while I was making that documentary who'd been shot 26 times. Oh. And when they first told me I was going to meet a guy who'd been shot 26 times, I went, bull. Yeah, sorry. He actually had been. Halfway through the interview, I said that can't be true. So he lifted his top up, and he'd been cranked open twice.
Oh my God!
So he shot on 26 separate occasions.
Well, at one point he was shot 9 times in the chest, and while he was on the ground, 6 times in the chest, and while he was on the ground, 9 mils, they put the gun under his chin. He was a blood. These were Crips.
Okay.
But bear in mind, this is 19 years ago. This is when
he
there
would
was
look
no
like
internet.
a sieve.
Yeah, mate, teabag, I used to think. Anyway, the bullet went up through the bottom of his chin, took the end of his tongue off, exited next to his nose, re-entered over the arch of his left eye.
No way!
And the slug lodged in the top of his skull, so it skimmed up between the skin and the actual bone. And he's got a little tattoo that says "Lucky" next to it.
Do you feel for the people who are trying to kill him? Like, this guy was unkillable. I mean, we can't even get rid of him. We've nailed him 9 times. He's on the head.
He's a legend.
He won't die, for God's sake.
He's a legend in that community. But the point was, really, guys, was the fact that what we were seeing on MTV in those days was glamorising it.
Yes.
And the fact was there was nothing glamorous about it.
So
he was poor. He was scared. He didn't have a supermodel wife. He had a very large wife with 2 kids on either hip and a block toilet.
So when you met him, you thought, oh, yeah, I want to put myself in the line of this.
Yeah. When I met him, I thought, do you know what? I want to tell people
the story.
Tell the truth. Why not tell the truth and do it in a way that is not in that kind of condescending way that so much in those days the news was presented in a very kind of I know it all and you're a bit stupid. Whereas I don't know it all and I might be a bit stupid, but I'm prepared to find out.
Well, because of that though, and the way you approach everything that you do people come out of the woodwork pitching stuff to you, saying, "Hey, we've got to get you over here to have a look at this"?
Yeah, the internet was an incredible thing. In terms of getting access to places that a lot of people couldn't get, and also people worked out that when we go to a place, we don't go there to turn it over, to make it look any worse or any better than it is. As I said to you earlier, just to tell the truth and be honest. There's no film that's ever been made that's worth someone's life. And the bravest people are not me. It's certainly the cameraman's a damn sight braver than me because he's looking for a matchbox in black and white when it's all buzzing around us, when the lead's flying through the air. But the bravest people for me are the people that we get to fix our shows, the local journalists.
Yes.
Because when we get parachuted in and then lifted out, they're there forever.
Yeah.
So if we upset the police...
they have to deal with the repercussions.
Yeah, exactly that. And the fact that we've been invited back to countries like Colombia, like Brazil, I think is testament to the fact that we've always looked after the people on the ground.
Say after this interview, right, you get a phone call from your producer and he says...
I'm the producer, by the way.
Okay, then you ring yourself. You ring yourself and say, I just got an email.
Say, hello, Ross.
Hey, Ross.
Yeah. Do you know what
Super
I do?
handsome,
When we're a little bit down in the back of a vehicle and we've been in a bit of contact, I go, "Hi, it's Ross Kemp here." And the cameraman laughs and says, I go, "Hi, Ross. I love you. Do you know how much I love you, Ross?" And I go, "Yeah, I know how much. You too, buddy. I really am in love with you."
All right. Well, so you know each other quite well. So when you speak to yourself and you say, we're heading to North Korea tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just jump on the plane?
We go, yeah.
So
obviously,
is there anywhere you wouldn't go?
We have to fill in a risk assessment before we go and get insured. But
how would they be with you going to North Korea? Because we've seen what's happening over there, and like
actually,
him
North
and Trump
Korea, you'd be probably corralled and looked after superbly.
Yes.
They'd try and make it look
but
like...
you wouldn't see what you want to see.
Yes. Do you know what I mean? There'd be fake oranges in the shops.
Yeah.
The places that are truly dangerous around the world are difficult to get to, and most of the things that happen when it goes horribly wrong are off camera. And the whole point of the show, I guess, is to get an audience and to explain to them the process of how we get to these places.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've had about 12 road traffic accidents. We've had 2 helicopter emergency landings, so we've come in on the rails with sparks going past your ears. And we've had 2 plane crashes. So,
Ross.
So, and that's never recorded. That's never on film.
Well, that's 1 week of EastEnders, isn't it?
Do you know what? That's the storyline for a week. Absolutely.
Ross, is there anywhere that you've said, no, we're not going to go?
No, not so far.
Yeah, right.
I did say no to
Bunbury,
Perth,
Natalie.
but now I'm here and I'm loving it. No, I'm joking. I love Perth. I really do, actually. I woke up this morning. It's just absolutely fantastic city. You're very lucky to live here.
We're happy to have you here. Have you met some people where you're interviewing them and you just want to punch them in the face?
Yes, recently.
Now? Was that?
Sorry, let me qualify that about 3 seconds ago.
Why is your fist clenching?
You're
but
within arm's reach,
on a
Nathan.
serious note. I just did a documentary in Barlinnie Prison, which is the maximum security prison for Glasgow.
Yeah.
Pretty tough town. Very nice town, but a tough town. And sadly, I had to interview, I'm going to bring the things down here a bit,
No.
a paedophile.
Oh.
And I wouldn't shake his hand at the end of the interview, and he got upset with me. Yeah, buddy. Okay.
He had a
Wow.
problem with being disrespected. He did.
Yes.
Because I saw, I think,
Come on.
on the project, a highlight of you. Was it a sex trafficker? Possibly
That was in India,
as well?
Guy.
Well, so
I
you
had
see
no
that
idea, I
again.
had no idea what he was going to come out with, but he basically trafficked around 1,500 girls a year into prostitution. And in the process of doing it over the years that he's been doing it with his gang, he admitted to killing around. He couldn't remember. That's what got me. 300 to 400 girls. When it comes on top with the
300 to 400. That generalisation is
Yeah.
sickening.
And
isn't
then
it?
the worst thing that what got me was he started crying and feeling sorry for himself.
I saw it, yeah, put his hand
All
on
those
his
girls whose lives had been ruined. Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, let's
no.
lift it up again.
Okay. Well,
But what you'll get, if you come and see the show, hopefully you'll get elements of that. I want to make you, I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you, look, my life is an up and down thing, like most people's lives are.
Yep.
But we peak and we trough a bit deeper
Yes.
the most. So, you hopefully you have a few giggles and a few laughs.
Hilariously, it's actually on Valentine's Day, the Perth
Is it
show. So
really?
it's
Okay.
a bit of romance in the air.
But I won't be proposing. I'll be proposing an interesting evening, and that's as far as it goes.
I've got a question to ask you, and I want to know how many times you've been asked this. Do people think that you're Michael Chiklis from The Shield?
Do you know what? Bizarrely, in Manaus,
Really good question.
In Manaus, of all places, do you know where it is?
No, I know the name.
Manaus is in the middle of the Amazonian rainforest. I bumped into a guy called Robson Green. Have you heard of him?
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm sitting there having a beer with Robson Green. This woman comes
That's
up
brilliant.
and she goes, "Robson, can I have your autograph?" And I go, "A little bit. My ego's a little bit dented on that one, but it's okay because Robson's
We're in the forest.
He's
Yeah.
a cool guy. He's a cool guy." Then she goes, "Mr. Chiklis, can I have your?" Through
sign
the
it?
floor, boys.
And then you're
Girls,
going,
through
oh
the
my God, I
floor.
met the thing.
I had to look into the mirror and go, "No, you are beautiful, and I do love you." In fact, I took a phone call for myself. I went, "It's Ross Kemp here. I love you, Ross. I love you too, mate. I know who you are. Do you want an autograph? Yeah, I'll give you an
see?
autograph any day, buddy."
You know, because I do feel like I've not only talked to you, but I've just interviewed Michael Chiklis.
Yeah,
so I
just in
think
case.
it's like a double banger
Can
for
you
me.
do an
And
American
he's,
accent?
He's a super army soldier. He's fucking tough.
All right, guys.
All right. Well, you can go and see Ross Kemp live at Riverside Theatre at PCEC on Valentine's Day.
Wow.
Tickets to ticketek.com.au. Thank you so
Thanks,
much
Ross.
for coming
Thanks for
in.
coming
We
in,
could talk to
Pleasure,
you all
guys.
day.
Thank you for giving me your time.
Enjoy your stay in Perth.
Thank you.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.